got more great local information coming up with Zeb Navarro, our Oceanside City Clerk. Welcome.
Hi, glad to be back.
Yes, it's always good to see you. It's always good to get the information directly from the source, which you are.
Yes.
So you're here to talk with us about the city undertaking some redistricting.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a process that is beginning, and what does that look like? What does the redistricting process look like?
Well, we've already done our districting. The city of Oceanside has switched from at-large elections, where we used to elect our council members at large, to now electing our council members by districts, except for the mayor, city clerk, and city treasurer. We're still at large. But we've completely moved on to district elections. And we always have to look at the census data, and we just had the census back in 2020. We got the information, all the data from the census. Now we're looking at that data and looking at our current boundaries for each district to see if they need to be adjusted or not. And that's what our current process is to take a look at our current district boundaries and see if they need to be adjusted according to the census data. And they do. Okay,
yeah, and there's 4 districts.
Correct.
In Oceanside. So you'll be looking at all 4 of those districts. You're not restructuring a map, a physical city map.
No, we're not.
Correct.
Yeah, so we're not wiping our districts and then starting fresh. We're taking a look at the already established districts and just adjusting the boundaries to make sure that every district is equitable. Every district has the same amount of population in it. It's not registered voters, it's the population within each district.
Okay, and this is going to be a really transparent process, right? There's going to be a lot of community input.
Correct.
What are we planning as a city for community input regarding this?
Well, we do have 4 public hearings, and these public hearings will be at the council meetings. But in addition to that, the city of Oceanside is going well above and beyond that. And we're going to have 4 community meetings. Each community meeting will be in a different district. And that kicks off tomorrow night at our community rooms at the Oceanside Public Library. And we are inviting the public to come out to these community meetings, come out to the public hearings, and just provide input on where they think the boundaries should be adjusted for each district. And we want to get as much feedback as possible. And we want to get the good, the bad, and the ugly as far as feedback, input, and comments regarding the districting process, as well as adjusting the boundaries.
And if folks can't attend one of those meetings, there's a number of other ways that they can submit their comments, correct?
Correct. If the public cannot make it because of COVID, they can't drive out there, or other concerns, they could always participate via Zoom. We're going to have Zoom available for all the community meetings. And we also have email. They could email the city clerk's office with their comments, call, or even mail a letter, or come down to the office and yell at us if they want, or provide their input that way. We want to get as much input as possible, whether it's positive, adjusting the boundaries, or even people that say, you know what, I don't like district elections. I want to go back to at-large. We want to accept all kinds of input and all kinds of feedback from the public.
Okay, but we do have districts, so that will remain, and you're just doing the work to try and restructure those in an equitable way.
That is correct, and we do that by going, by looking at different criterions for each district. The criterions are, applicable laws like the U.S. Constitution, state law, voting rights. We have to make sure there's no gerrymandering, so there's not going to be any gerrymandering for our districts. And we also have to make sure that they are just one big giant district and not a bunch of little islands here and there. We just want to make sure each district is a big giant geographical map of Oceanside, or part of Oceanside. But the main one is communities of interest.
Yeah, tell us about that.
And communities of interest are just communities that have the same issues, the same policy concerns. But there's no official definition for the city of Oceanside of what our communities of interest are. By law, the communities of interest have to be developed and defined by the communities themselves. So that's why it's very important for the public to come out, provide input, and tell us what issues their communities are facing, and whether they want to remain in this district or move to another district. And we want to make sure we're not splitting up communities of interest in the redistricting process. So that's why public input is very important for this.
Absolutely, and get a really clear picture of what the community is looking for and needing.
Exactly, and we don't want to split up a community. I live in the east side, and I'm sure those people don't want to be split up. We want to make sure we're all together. But that's just my neighborhood, and I want to know about everybody else's neighborhood in Oceanside. So that's why we want as much people to participate in this process as possible.
Well, I'm so glad you're doing the work. And how can people find out more? Where should they go?
Well, they should go to the City of Oceanside City Clerk's office.
Okay.
We have a website completely devoted to redistricting.
Okay.
And they could also email cityclerk@oceansideca.org if they would like some more information as well. And we could provide them maps they could draw on and maps that they could interact with online to draw those district boundaries, submit it, and our demographer will take a look at every single submission for those district boundaries.
Well, thank you, Zeb. Thank you
No
so much
problem.
for the information and all your work on this.
Happy to share.